I hear we're about to march on campaign soon. Yeah, I was told we have some new hotshot general.
They say he has no fear, that he defies unbeatable odds.
They say he sits upon a comfy throne and drinks from a golden chalice. Shh, shh, here he comes, here he comes. Presenting.
Men of Ohm, I am Arcade Knight, and I have come here, to this place, on this day, to lead you to victory against horrors too numerous to name. From fetid swamps to scorched wastelands, through jungles deep and plains vast. Now perhaps many of you have heard of my past exploits, for I am no stranger to leading men in battle. With my sturdy mount and my shiny blade, I have led many a warband and served as bannerlord all across the lands. Now there is no monster so fierce, nor eldritch terror so menacing, that cannot be laid low by the bravery of men and the enigma of steel. We forge ahead against the very primordial manifestations of chaos, but that is only right, for we are exemplars of order and discipline, bravery and honor. I ask nothing of you that I would not give myself 10 times over. Our very existence on this world hangs in the balance of what we're able to accomplish, and I could not ask for better warriors than which I see before me. Will you follow me, men? Will you follow me for Ohm? Will you follow me for glory, for strength, for steel?
Company, march!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Arcade Knight, and this is Marcus Aurelius' presentation of Dominions 4, the Throne of Ascension. So sit back on your comfy thrones, grab a golden chalice of your favorite tasty beverage, because we are Ohm, and we are forging ahead.
Well, that was quite a rousing intro by Mr. Arcade Knight, and I thank him very much for that. He is going to be leading our armies into glorious battle, and it is said that he has commanded armies all across the world, even in different dimensions. Some even say that he was once a king in a faraway land known as Britannia? That is of no consequence, however, because we are focused on the Old Kingdom, where it is currently the late winter in the year 2 of the Ascension Wars. But before I get started, I want to show off 2 pieces of cool artwork produced by the community. First off is a stylized, I should say, image of the Chief Smith by Mithridates Magus. Now granted, the Chief Smith is actually an alchemist, but I'm sure that when he's wearing armor and getting ready to go out into battle, this is what he looks like. So thank you for that, Mithridates. Next, I would like to show you a coat of arms of House Vandara that was created by JC Destroyer, and that is to represent his character in this series, which is actually, it turns out, an Amazon, a Garnet Amazon sorceress named Artanis Vandara. As the story goes, the Vandaras are Ermoran, a noble family, who owned an island off Ermor called Tara, and during the fall of Ermor, they were one of the first to witness it. And the bloodline remains, apparently strong within the Garnet Amazons. So there we have it. Alright, well, back to the game itself. Once again, it is late winter in the year 2 of the Ascension Wars. Platinum Black has been fortunate enough to find a magic site in Kopos. And that magic site is the Imperial Quarry, which produces 1 Earth Gem. So not the fire gems, unfortunately, that we're looking for, but still pretty good. One thing I do want to mention is that Alsvin, the god of Black Ulm has left the Dark Blue Sea and is now in the Lake of God, along with apparently what he was waiting for, which is a whole mess of shark riders. There is but the Sea of Woe between them and the forces of R'lyeh, and I sincerely hope the forces of R'lyeh are victorious. We did manage to find some blood slaves in Oe Perry, and they are being taken to our blood transfusion centers to have their blood drained so that we can create some bloodstones. And I have 3 battles to talk to you about. The first off, there was a battle between Shabalba and the neutrals in the Tain. And Shabalba is cleaning house around here. They are definitely gaining a lot of territory. There we go. Looks like this is a team of mercenaries fighting some infantry. Giuseppe del Migo. Ah, so they're what remains of the kingdom of Marignan, which fell centuries before. It does look, however, as if they'll be victorious. A fire elemental is joining the fray here. Yeah. Nothing really interesting for me. Although I have noticed that our enemies, despite the no AI recruit mod, the enemies are recruiting a lot of indies. For example, I saw a lot of barbarians in battles. I don't like that. I want to see national troops. But we are fighting in Og Woods. The Woods of Og against the Jade Amazons, a secondary tribe who are familiar with the Garnet tribe, and they wish to challenge us in battle before they will submit to our rule. Ooh, that didn't go well for them. And they are led, it appears, by a sorceress, the name of Haith. Haitha? She's pretty good and has a lot of nature gems. Perhaps we'll find nature gems in this province. And then we have Ylveth, the priestess. Their dinosaur riders are crashing into our ranks. Well, their armor's pretty good. It protects them against blade wind, for the most part. We are surrounding them. They're very brave. It appears their aim is not true, that of our smiths. Jack Schwarzar. He tries. He's getting better, I'm sure. Oh, and now he's going to try to get some fleers, but he missed them all again. Oh well. The Broken Land. This is the desert that we were trying to wrest from Black Ulm. Our frontline troops are a little weak in this province. We have all of our leaders here with the Arbalesters. But Black Ulm did most of the hard work for us, so this should go relatively quickly. These tribesmen are not used to massive armored men like we are. Oh, but they just took out 2 of our guys. Holy moly, that vine shield was pretty rough. We lost 3 infantry in that one. Previous battle, we didn't lose anything at all. And once again, an unexpected event in Greendale. Greendale's a pretty weird place. This time we have an increase in magic and an increase in unrest because children are disappearing at night and strange creatures skulking in the wilderness. That's not good. So I am getting Platinum Black the hell out of here. I don't want to be anywhere near the god of Black Ulm, but I have decided that we're going to take advantage of Black Ulm's, I don't know what we'd say here, their misguided priorities of trying to conquer the ocean, and we are going to make a move against them. Not just yet, but the next turn. I've decided instead of building a castle in Ragdan, I'm actually going to build one in Og Woods, because it has more production, but also because we can recruit Jade Sorceresses who have both water and nature magic, with a 25% chance of an additional water or nature. They could also get earth, which is unnecessary, or death, which we aren't going to be using, but still, that's valuable to us. I've also decided that I'm going to build a castle in the Western Plains. Now you might ask, Marcus, that's insanity, why would you do that? It's inhospitable, but the idea is I would like to get some Griffin riders out, because they are kind of a monstrous unit. I thought they cause fear. Heck, they should cause fear, but they do not. However, they fly. So the armies of Ulm do not currently have flying troops, and I think that would aid us quite a bit. And then Ragdan can just help the 2 fortresses we have here. So we'll have kind of a line here. Now, I'm not expecting it to hurt Oe Perry very much. I mean, it might hurt Oe Perry a little bit, but Oe Perry will eventually turn into just a smith production factory anyway. We aren't going to be recruiting many troops there. I'd like to have something up here. This is troop recruitment. You know what would be kind of cool if this was a province? Like, if this was actually a province, this little area in between all these other guys, that would be a great province to have. Maybe something with high magic sites or fun little something or other. I don't know. But we're heading up to Wold here. Relay is still peaceful with us. Some of these islands are inhabitable, like this one, but this one is not. The only way to get to them, however, is through the use of amphibiousness, which we do not have. We have Enko hanging out in Solam, and we're getting Horatius out of here to Bountiful Land, somewhere where he can be safe. Batman is going to go check out and see if Xibalba has all this, but my guess is that they do. They're doing quite well, although they still haven't taken Haloma, which is right next to their capital. So maybe that's why we're not seeing a lot of national troops from them, because they can only recruit them here, and they don't have a lot of resources. The monkeys have built up a second fort in the Green Wall. I saw that in the previous turn. Here's the capital of Pelagia, in this bay. Actually a rather poor capital for them, because you'd think that the Tridents would want to live deep in the ocean, not in a small bay surrounded by land provinces. And maybe that's why they're not doing so well in this game, when normally Pelagia cleans house pretty well against other amphibious nations. Shinuyama is surprising me. They're all the way over here at this other throne in Osence, but I'm pretty sure Nazca at some point is going to be crushing them. I'm staying here in Midgefens, and I'm getting this guy up to God's Tomb Mountains to continue looking at this situation. And that's really about it. We are completely out of money, so we didn't recruit next to anything this turn. But I will say that Ulm is now moving to full Guardian production. And then we are no longer going to recruit smiths. We're going to recruit either Black Priests, Priest-Smiths, and maybe the occasional Lord Guardian and Black Lord. But for the most part, Priest-Smiths and Black Priests. Because this is the only place where they can be recruited. They have half upkeep. We're going to start needing Sermon of Courage, which is important, and Iron Blizzard, which is important, especially against Black Ulm, because it's superior to Blade Wind and Magma Eruption against heavily armored troops. And since Guardians can only be recruited here, I'm going to only be recruiting Guardians here. Guardians, even if you're not fighting against Sacred troops, they're still pretty beefy, awesome troops, good to have. What I kind of want to do with them is have them bodyguard my smiths as they go out to battle. So that's that. Let me introduce you to some new people before we call it an episode, or call it a turn. We have Cal Lord down here, who is fortunate enough to be gifted with 2 fire. We have, of course, Arcade Knight, who was introduced in the intro. And we have Lord Lucius down here in Umbro. Unfortunately, Milkster has already gotten a chest wound as a result of his old age. Hopefully he will survive long enough to forge us many more owl quills. And that is what he's doing. He and Moonwatcher are still forging those owl quills because we need them badly. We are adding Artanis Vondara to blood hunting, and I think that'll be enough for right now. I'm not going to be recruiting any more Garnet sorceresses in the short term. We're going to see what we can pick up with these 3. Already Unrest is getting up there, so I'm having Sloosh Tollington and his one guy protect that, because we can't afford to recruit any troops. We're spending all of our money on castles, and we're going to continue to do so because we're going to build a castle here in the near future. But here's the plan, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the plan. Black Ulm is very weak in this area, and I want to take advantage of that. So I think because I have 2 armies here, I'm going to have a little fun and try to cut them off. I'm going to try to take the Searing Sands, and these guys, I'm not sure what I want them to do. I'll probably go Anphalia or Belagor, see what these guys do in Shepherd's Haven. It'd be nice of me to get the first strike. I'll take some income from them. Their god is now far away, and even if their god decides to attack us, who cares? We'll lose a couple provinces that aren't really worth all that much to us in the grand scheme of things. And eventually he's going to get tired out and get wounded. He's surrounded only by aquatic troops, so he can't bring anybody up on land with him. We don't have anything that's particularly useful against him, but if we have some arbalesters and we have a line of pikes maybe protecting them, we should be able to do some damage to him and at least give him an injury. That would be useful. But yeah, so I think soon we're going to open up the attack against the Black Ulm, and Arcade Knight is coming down here to gather troops in order to do so. And that's all I have to say. So let's end the turn. Okay, Jack Schwarzar, found nothing. Demonicus, found nothing. Cunna, found nothing. Chief Smith, found nothing. But we have 12 more blood slaves in Oi Perry. I think that's more than we actually need for right now. I wouldn't want to have them stop doing that. So we are just... This situation is terrible in terms of magic gems. We have no astral pearls. We have no fire gems, both of which are integral to my strategy. Astral pearls are very useful because the Chief Smith at this moment can produce with earth magic, earth gems, and astral pearls a crystal shield, which increases the magic of anyone holding it in battle by 1. So that means if our average everyday smith has one of these in battle, they will actually have 3 earth and 2 fire. Now if one of our 3 earth smiths have it, there'll be 4 earth, plus the boots, 5 earth. So you can see where I'm going with this. I want all of my mages that are in battle to have these crystal shields. And they require astral pearls, really. And they require someone who has 3 astral and 2 earth to forge them. So one thing I want to do as well is I want the Chief Smith, rather than waste his time forging them himself, I want him to forge a crystal coin and an astral skull cap, which he can then give to one of our astral smiths. In this time we only have 1, which is Cunna. And that way it's even better for us because it'll be a 4 gem discount instead of just a 2 gem discount if the chief was just forging it himself. Nazca versus the neutrals in the God's Tomb Mountains. They're cleaning house on their little island here. Hopefully the Shinuyama and Pelagia will hold them at bay. It is rather snowy here. They like it cold. And they're just basically fighting against light cavalry. I do not think... Well, who knows? The light cavalry could pull this one out if they cause them to rout by killing enough of their weak Nazcan troops. And it's not going to happen, though. They're already fleeing. Yeah. Nazca was victorious. Let's see about our battle in Wold. Once this is done, we have no more neutral provinces that we could take in this part of the world. So we either have to attack R'lyeh or just hold steady. We are also up against light cavalry, and oof, they are no match. Their arrows are getting close enough to our mages, though. I don't like that. Before they can even cast Stone Skin, which they just did. Now we're legioning of stealing everyone. The Blade Wind is definitely doing its job. And they're running. Did we lose anyone? We did not. Alright, Umbro. A demon has possessed a herd of swine and ravaged the province for a week. That is increasing the misfortune of Umbro to 3 and the unrest plus 15. Huh. And Umbro's... Oh my gosh, Umbro's where all the good stuff is happening. We do not want that here. Alright, well... Let's get on with it. We have Gunter. And Gunter is no longer going to be Gunter. Gunter is going to be actually a lady. Blank. Daughter of Nij, who is actually a member of the Council of Smiths. But she has decided that for right now, it is not good enough just to debate and set policy and talk about what's going on in the world, but she actually wants to go out and fight on behalf of the armies of Ulm and to lead troops into battle. So that is what Blanc is going to be doing. And we can just ignore the sprite. She is indeed a Lady Smith. There are such things. Next, we have Theodoric, who is not going to be Theodoric, the Black Priest, but rather is going to be Gru. Schwarzklinge. And there's Gru. Right now, researching... Well, we could use the morale boost. Where's the best place to put him? Alright, we're going to send him to Desaglia, and then from there he's going to go to Ogwoods. Because that's where things are about to start happening. Look here, it looks like Black Ulm has figured out what it is we're trying to do, and they're moving their troops to the south. They have 130 units. What do we have? 80 here. 31 plus 40 here. Alright, we're gonna do it. This will be an unspoken triumph if we win. Oh, well, oh shoot. Colonial's gonna stay where he is. We're just gonna bring Jack. Because Colonial's building a castle. Jack is already built. Or search for sites, didn't find anything. And we're gonna move Havel down here to guard Colonial. Alright, so here's the gamble. A lot of stuff can happen here. For example, if they decide to move into one of these provinces, they might be able to intercept the army along the way and cause some trouble. They might be able to get out in time before we even get here. Either way, though, this will mark the beginning of our war with Black Ulm. Now, I was hoping that we could take 2 of their provinces away in one shot, but I think the opportunity to destroy their expansion army is an opportunity that we shouldn't miss. And Cyber Commando is going to search for magic sites here. Okay, we have... Oh, we also have to name another person here. Pawns. Pawns is actually going to be Zazakita. Excellent. Alright, Moonwatcher. We want you to forge another Owl Quill. And Milkster, you will do so as well. Alright, folks, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to order people around to plan out our next turn. But you kind of know my main thrust here. We are going to strengthen up our defenses. Actually, Dovin looks to be taken over by neutrals. So maybe if we can quickly grab that, we're going to move down into Scantrast real quick. Or yeah, we have to move to Scantrast and then Dovin. And maybe we can take that before Rylay can take it back. That's an opportunity for us. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, once again, I'm Marcus Aurelius, and we are Ulm. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.